Warning labels needed. The three biggest time management mistakes no one ever warned you about. Hi, I'm Rochelle Carrington with the Quest Source. You know, there are warning labels on everything nowadays. It's on music, it's on food, it's on cars, and it's even on movies. I'm still trying to figure out why Netflix needs to warn me about smoking in a movie, but my guess is their attorneys have a reason for that. And if you think about it, at a time when there's a lot of people out there who are trying to blame other people for their failures, it kind of makes sense that companies are trying to protect themselves and put warning labels everywhere. But there's one area where there are no warning labels, and that is in business, which I think is kind of perplexing given the fact that business is a very risky game. Think about the numbers. Over 50% of new businesses fail within the first year. 84% of people have revealed that they hate their job. And more people are working longer and longer hours. The days of working 9 to 5 are over, and people are working from 7 in the morning until 7 at night, and then picking it back up later on as well. And so the risk that is inherent in business really needs some warning labels, and I think there's three particular areas that need them the most. So here's warning label number 1, and that is the time that you think it takes to finish a task is always underestimated. Now think about it. How many times have you set out to do something and you've found out that it takes a little bit longer than what you thought? I remember back when I built my house about 20 years ago, I had the bright idea that we could actually paint the exterior of our house and save some money. And I figured, what's it going to take, 4 days? Luckily, I never got the chance to prove myself wrong on that one because I came to my senses. But that kind of thing happens all the time where we underestimate the time it takes. And the real problem with that is that we don't finish tasks. And when we don't finish tasks, oftentimes we have a tendency to set them aside and we don't remember or come back to them, and you become the bottleneck in your business. So what's the fix to that? The fix is every single time you sit down to complete a task, if it's a small task, add half an hour to whatever the time frame is that you think it will take to finish it. If it's a bigger task, double the amount of time you think it will take to finish it. That way, all you're doing is blocking that time on your calendar, and now your biggest goal is to endeavor to beat that time frame. If you don't, at least you've got more time set aside to actually complete it, and if you do beat the time frame, you've got more time to do whatever it is that you want. The next area that we need warning labels in is around procrastination. Procrastination is a lot like sugar. It becomes very addictive very quickly. And one of the main reasons for failure is that people procrastinate. They put things off. They think that there's always going to be a better time to do it or more time to do it later on. And that is never the case. I have shot a ton of videos and written a lot of blogs around procrastination, and I've even created a course to help people overcome it because it is so rampant out there in business. So one of the things that we do with procrastination is we lie to ourselves about it, and we kind of say, you know what, it's okay, I always get it done in the end. But that's kind of like believing that, you know, if you eat a little bit of sugar, you're not going to crave more later on. We all know sugar makes you crave more. We also know that a little bit of procrastination makes you do it again and again and again. So you've got to kill that addiction. And the best way to do it is to figure out why you procrastinate, because everybody procrastinates for different reasons. So if you want a really simple way to do it, I'm going to put a link under this video for a 1-minute quiz that you can take. It will tell you exactly why you personally procrastinate. And then there will be an accompanying video. It's less than a minute long that will tell you exactly what you can do to fix it. Now, the third area that we need to put a warning label on is incompletion. That incompletion of tasks cannot be tolerated. Typically, there's a couple of reasons why we might not finish a task. One is that it might be too difficult, and so we need to set it aside, learn a new skill or learn something new, and then be able to go back to it. The other one is the one that's a little harder to deal with, and that is distractions. You know, the other day I was taking some garbage out to my outside garbage cans, and right after that I was planning to write a blog. But as I started to walk back up my front pathway, I noticed some weeds in the front planter. And I thought, well, this will only take a couple of seconds. I'll just pull these weeds really quickly, and then I will go back in and write my blog. Well, you can probably guess it didn't exactly go down that way. What I ended up doing was pulling weeds, then all of a sudden I'm trimming bushes, and then all of a sudden I'm cutting my peonies. And now this thing that I thought was going to take a couple of seconds actually morphed into about 30 minutes before I realized that, guess what? I wasn't supposed to be gardening. I was supposed to be writing a blog. And so here's what happens, is that when we lose focus, like what I did, we open our mind to distraction. And the minute we open our mind to distraction, it's like bait. It's like so easy to go over and do that other thing. And so the most important thing is you've got to maintain focus. 2 quick fixes on that one. Number 1, 90-minute jam session. I've talked about this a million times over. You got to block the time on your calendar and get your project done for 90 minutes. I guarantee you it is life-changing if you just start doing it and making it habitual. The second thing that you can do is you got to talk to yourself. You would not believe the number of times that I literally am telling myself, Rochelle, finish what you started. Because I start to get a little bit distracted and start to go over here, that shiny ball syndrome that everybody knows about, and I need to talk myself and gear myself in to getting back into focus and completion of my task. So those are the 3 areas that we need warning labels on in terms of productivity when it comes to business. Business is a risky game. Failure doesn't show up all at once. It's got warning signs that happen along the way. And so what you've really got to be looking for is, are you watching those warning signs? Have you seen the warning labels? Are you taking note? Are you taking precautions and making sure that you don't get stuck in those? It's incredibly important to do that so that you can be productive in what you do, cut down the time that you spend working, and work in the right areas. Take note of those warnings and make sure that you're taking action on them. And that way, you'll see more success in the long run. In the meantime, make sure you laugh a lot and learn a lot.